Hey guys, Vaul here, and again I want to talk about War Machine and Hordes. Recently I've been posting a lot of battle reps featuring Circle against the guys that I've been forced to play, well not so much forced to play, but have had to play again and again because there aren't a lot of people in my little community to play yet. And really been wanting to play against factions like Khador and Menoth because they're very prominent and common factions and commonly played factions, but we don't have many people actively playing them just around me just yet. But finally managed to snag a game against a guy called Mark at the City Guard Club. And he took eVlad, and two things went wrong that day. Number one, my camera disc malfunctioned, so I lost the battle report, so you guys won't be able to see it. And number two, I showed it with my Morvana army, and I'd forgotten, some of the models, left them at home, so I cranked out a really haphazard eKaya list with the models I had left over, and I played them anyway. I played badly, feeded in the wrong turn, I just made some mistakes, just underestimated how good Signs of Portents was, so I lost. And unfortunately I don't have the battle report to show you, but I'm playing against Mark next week, possibly with his Menoth. Really looking forward to that a lot, and I hope to bring you a battle report. On to the game I am going to report on. It is a Khador game up against a very different guy called Damien at the First Turn Win Club. I've got a picture of it here. This is also where I shot the battle report of the Battle for Morsleb. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's a 15,000 point Warhammer battle report, which you can see on my page elsewhere. But anyway, I got here early, and Damien was the first guy to show up to play me. So let's go on to it. It's Kromac, and you guys have seen my Kromac list before in some of my earlier battle reports, and I've just cracked up the same old Kromac list that I've become accustomed to. Damien is trying out pButcher. pButcher's his favourite guy, and he's just using the models that he has available. He's even got some Games Workshop miniatures in there representing Doom Reavers, although he calls them his bitch Reavers, so to speak, because they are actually models from the Sisters of Battle Rage. He's got some Manowars, and he's got 3 heavy Warjacks, and you can see which ones they are in the video description, although he has converted them a little bit, so watch out for that. And of course, pButcher and his little dog. So next photo, I begin the game, and I take the first turn here, and I've got, actually no I don't, I've just deployed my models here and I don't get the first turn. It was Damien who took the first turn, so my bad. This is just basically where I've set up in the middle. The game plan here is just to wait for him to come to me and use my ranged attacks and Wolfriders to thin out his guys before I counterattack when he moves in at basically at the last moment. Next image, here's a look at his army. He's got underwear painted them. As you can see, they're like Sister Repentia, or whatever they're called. I've placed my Prey token next to them because the Wolfriders are going to go for them first. And he's got Manowars, he's got a Defender back there, he's got a Kodiak, and he's got a Decimator, I think it's called. But I'll double check the rules and post the proper names in the description. And of course, pButcher with his 6 focus tokens back on the hill there. Next photo, Damien basically likes to play the game in the following way. He likes to be very, very aggressive and wait for you to pull all the moves on him because he's learning, and he basically wants to learn as quickly as he can just by finding out what your stuff does rather than bothering to read all the cards, just play into it. And fair enough, it's a good fun way of learning the game, and he hasn't played against a lot of Circle before. He has played against another guy that plays Circle in our little scene, but that guy uses much different combinations of stuff than I do and doesn't really show up for games very much. So there he goes. He pulls out his 6 Doom Reavers, and he's got a Greylord with them to stop them from hitting each other. Next image shows you an overview shot of what happens. He's basically run everything forward that can run, and he's got his Doom Reavers out in front. Mistakenly, we cast Iron Flesh on the Doom Reavers, but they can't be targeted by spells because they've got Spell Ward. So if you go to the next photo, I mistakenly cast Wraithbane on one of the Wolfriders with my Pureblood, and then on the other 2 thanks to Kromac. And, basically after we realized that this was incorrect, we went back and replayed Damien's turn, took the spell off the Doom Reavers, then I replayed my turn too and just did something completely different. So if you go to the next photo after this, the Wolfriders indeed move out. They don't need Wraithbane because there's no Iron Flesh on the Doom Reavers at this point. They've got Inviolable Resolve just in case, I don't know, one of the jacks shoots a gun at them and then pButcher fires a spell at them and kills 2 of them and they have to take a command check. I just like putting Inviolable Resolve on them early on because I can switch it later on and essentially give them fearless at this point. But they throw their 3 javelins and take out 3 Doom Reavers because he failed his 3 tough rolls, and of course the Wolfriders run away after that. So next photo, this is the end of my turn 1. I've just fanned everything out, waiting for him to come to me, and I've killed 3 of his Reavers already, so pretty happy with the little startup. And of course, all of Kromac's upkeep spells are in play. Next image, the Doom Reavers move up next to the wall, but of course the Wolfriders have Hunter, so they can either shoot at them, but what I choose to do is just come up as close to the wall as possible and assault them, and that manages to take all 3 of them out and leave the Greylord just there by himself. Next photo shows you the rest of Damien's turn. Before I do that, though, he's just moving everything forward and kept pButcher just a healthy distance away. I think at this from this angle, I can't really land Kromac with the assassination run right next to him. Plus, he's camping 2 focus anyway, so it would be a little bit difficult to get the kill. Next image, I have killed the 3 Doom Reavers in front of the wall with the Wolfriders and moved back, and the Pureblood has moved forward and sprayed the last guy to death, which frees up the prey target to be shifted to something else. Man, sometimes I really like the Pureblood. I know there's a lot of hate from half the community hating him, half the community loving him, but I'm in the liking him camp. I'm not sure about loving him, but I like him because although there are other things in your army like Blackguards which can get the spray job done cheaper, you can boost his sprays, and I really like that. Also, that one time where you really need Wraithbane and you can't get the job done any other way, it's just so grateful to have him there in the list. And he can fight if you give him the boost, so he's not bad. He's no feral, but he can still fight, and very occasionally you might want to avoid free strikes with your Stalker, and so Whopping Ghostly is going to be good. Anyway, this guy failed his tough roll as well, so Damien very unlucky with the tough rolls, and of course the Pureblood running off, well not running off, just snagging him, and that's the end of the Doom Reavers. Next image, Damien moves up with everything right behind the wall here. I have put the prey on the Kodiak. I believe that's the right name for the model. Yes, it is the Kodiak. And he's basically the guy with the 2 hands outstretched either way. That's not a default pose. He's actually reposed it and sort of converted a little bit, so just bear that in mind. And everything else just staying out of range. I know that he has only low charge ranges with his guys, and those of his models who have reach still won't be able to make it, so I'm happy with my position here. Next image, you've basically got the Pureblood going for it again. He sprays the middle Manowar and again boosts damage and manages to pick him off, so that's 1 Manowar down. And the Wolfriders have prayed the Kodiak. He's armor 20, so it's dice -9, but 3d6. You get 2 or 3, well 1 or 2 points through every time you throw, roughly. So that's what I was doing, and I knocked 4 or 5 points of damage off him, which will free him up for, will make him much easier to kill with the other beasts later on. So that's the plan there. Next image, Damien's turn. He still isn't in combat, but he rushes everything forward, and I've weakened his army so much at this point that when it's time for me to counterstrike, I'm pretty sure I can do a lot of damage. He's also put pButcher behind the wall, and the guard dog next to him, so handy to have the guard dog there, because while he's alive, he gives pButcher extra defense. So even if Kromac did go for the assassination run, I'd have to take out the dog first and use a bit of fury there. Probably still could do it, but you've got to be very careful about that stuff, especially when he camps a little bit of fury, which he is doing. Sorry, fury focus, I meant. Next image, so this is the important turn where all the combat occurs, so I have to really get at it. The Pureblood moves forward and puts himself in melee range of both Man of War figures because they're both on either side of him. If he had charged, he'd have had to turn to face one of them, but he doesn't have to do that, I believe, since he just walked up. I believe I've done that correctly, I hope so. Anyways, he's boosted for strength and actually lashes out and kills both of them because he's power 16 and I think they're armor 16, so dice damage, he got them. Next image, the Satyr was in melee range, well, was very close to the defender here, or whatever his name is, the guy with who's armor 25. Luckily, though, after killing the Manowars, I was able to warpath backwards 3 inches, and then in my turn slam him, 3.5 or whatever it was, and that was quite cool. If you go to the next photo, you can see where he ended up. He gets slammed back 1 inch +2 from the special roll, and I followed up, knocked him down. Didn't really want to keep wailing on him because that would have run the Gnarlhorn a lot hotter, and I'm happy for him just to stay there because the other beasts are going to be running really, really hot this turn. For example, the Stalker. Stalker moves up and totally thrashes the crap out of this guy with his sword. doesn't quite kill him, leaves him with like 2 points left, and so if the next photo the Gnarlhorn runs in and uses all of his fury, but finally manages to take him down and reduces this guy to scrap. So quite happy to be able to nail one of his heavies at this point. And next image, I've put my stones here just because I didn't really want Butcher charging in on a bad angle and killing the Stalker maybe. Plus it makes it a little bit more annoying for his other Jack on the hill to move over, because he'd have to trample over the stones, take a free strike from the Gnarlhorn, and even though I always forget what the trample rules are, I think he has to actually use some of his actions or focus or whatever to actually do that. So just putting the stones also in a position where I might be able to use their Serenity rule to take away Fury, but I forgot it was only 1 inch, so I didn't quite put them close enough to my beast, but that's why they're there. Next image, Butcher, and probably one of my better photos, rushes over here and hacks away at the Gnarlhorn, but not the Gnarlhorn, the baby Gnarlhorn as I like to call him, the Gorax, and does a lot of damage to the Gorax. He's also feeded this turn, and did he feed last turn? Can't quite remember. No, he feeded this turn, and did a fair bit of damage, but he's already spent all of his focus, giving focus to the other Jack so he can get back up and attack, and the other Jack next to him to give him Fury. So he's actually left himself with camping no focus at all, which although many experienced pButcher players would say, you're not meant to do that, you're meant to just camp all 6 because he's going to get counter attack this turn. That's just what he's done. Next image, the other, I think it's the Decimator, the guy with the buzzsaw moves in and attacks the Pureblood, leaving the Pureblood on like 3 life left, but then we realised he'd had Fury cast on him, so I removed the Pureblood and that was it. So he'd been murdered basically. So that was that. Next photo, I've put the stones in a little cage over the Jack over here, just to be silly. I think he can just trample easily over the stones, so there's no point in me doing that. But again, I'm going to go back and read the trample rules, because I think that if you are forced to trample, that makes life hard if you do other things. Can't quite remember, but never mind. Next photo, the Wolfriders activate next, and they move over and they kill the War Dog. Quite crucially, being very meticulous with my control range here and measuring so that they're within 7 but not within 6, so he can't actually countercharge me. And the Wolfriders aren't actually positioned there; they're actually an inch, well, one of them's an inch further. It's just I couldn't balance half of them on the hill without wrecking the model. So it kills the dog, which is quite important because it gives Butcher extra defense, and after the dog's down, then the Stalker can move in and kill him. So next photo, and this is the last photo, the Stalker moves out and kills pButcher pretty comfortably, because he's got Primal on at this point and Wild Aggression, and you don't even need to boost damage. It's already 2 dice plus 2. You keep buying the attacks. It's almost impossible for him to miss at effectively mat 8 and 3 dice. So Butcher went down pretty convincingly. Most of the time when you circle, you're worrying about Butcher just camping 6 focus and just sitting there, but I think even if he did that, it'd basically be the Stalker attacks would have been dice minus 4, and I would have just been hacking at him and boosting damage rolls, and I would have hurt him pretty severely. And even if he had had a few life left, Kromac could have come in and spent about 15, more like 12 or 13 Fury in his feet turn, just hacking the crap out of Butcher, and he's bound to have got a few points through to kill him. So I think I was in a pretty comfortable situation despite all of that. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed playing against Khador. I haven't had much of an opportunity to play them lately, but I'll be playing against Damien again next week, fingers crossed, so hopefully another report with different casts and stuff, so I look forward to it. See you guys then.